name is Kirby Janikowski, and I am the polishing coordinator for Alliance Specialties.
Jerry Janzik, in charge of manifold and mold repair, as far as manifold cleaning and hot runner stuff.
Mike Zender, mold maintenance director.
Jason Wallen, I head the laser engraving department.
Doug Nigaman, Vice President, Alliance Laser Sales. I oversee operations in mostly welding and engraving and a little bit of everything that goes on day to day.
John Demakis, I sit back and admire all these guys for doing all their work.
Jesse Garcia, I'm with Durochrome Industries. I'm a sales and project manager.
And I'm Chuck Klingler from Janler Corporation and president of the local AMBA.
Thank you all for being here, being part of this panel. Chuck, we'll start with you as a customer and a longtime friend of Alliance. What do you see out of this company that helps Janler?
Well, there's probably an old term, phonovision, before we long had any of our computerization connections. But phonovision is something that's nothing more than communications. It's essential. A few minutes ago we talked about what is all this about detail, and then there's detail, and don't forget there's detail, because that's the business we're in. Whatever mistakes, changes, whatever needs to be done, it needs to be done now. Response. It needs to be done without threat, scare. Everybody gets, well, what are we gonna do? What do we do? Being able to turn that over to someone that you can pick up a phone is the way I feel about it. Get a conversation, knowing that the receiver of that conversation is seeing the same thing through the phone that I'm talking about. That gives you the confidence. You turn that work over. It's going to get done the way you believe it. It's going to be returned to that method. And we don't have time to do this twice or three times, or to think about it and not always be able even to drive out and spend a couple hours of planning. But that communication is essential. It's critical mass. So, in all honesty, I don't know where else I would go. This team has it, and I know they do. John and I have had this, I think, our whole lives. It's there. Seeing that it transfers on and continues on, I'm with you. It's admiration.
Yeah.
You got a great team doing it. That is what our business relies on, because our customer has said they expect it to be done in minutes. And we all know this takes time. It takes dedication. If you do it, it gets done in a timely manner and good communications. When stuff doesn't go exactly as planned, how does it get communicated back? I don't feel like there's anybody here that's afraid to pick up the phone and say there's a problem. We need to know it. That communication's essential also, so we can convey that back to our customers the same way. We all know shit happens. Just got done saying it. What do you do about it?
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah, what do you do about it? How do you communicate it? What questions do we ask as a vendor of yours to make sure that we get the job done right? Whether is it, welding, how much material do you need? How much do you need, or what are you finishing at? Where are we at? So if you're telling us, you need 15 thou aside, do you need 15 thou aside? Or do you need 20 thou aside so you can finish at 15? And just simple things like that. And
Yeah, those are good questions to come back at us.
Exactly.
Because so many times we assume what we're telling you is there, and you're getting to 100%. You know that you only get 80. Where's that other 20?
Right.
Asking that question back so that the job gets done.
Well, that's the benefit of having toolmakers working, is that you tell us to do something, and then we get in here. You thought you were perfectly clear about it, and we get it in there, and it is pretty well marked and everything. But because Doug's a toolmaker and I'm a toolmaker, we look at it and go, I don't think that's what he really wanted.
Bingo. Absolutely.
So it stops from getting, an 1/8 inch of weld, and you might only need very little bit of weld, or the polishing might be not as critical in this area or that area. But again, we usually know what the mold does.
Exactly.
So then we can question it. And if we have a good relationship, we're not intimidated by the customer because we're calling a friend and going, hey, are you sure this is what you want done?
And Tony and I went over by Janler and we discussed that project that you guys had. We decided that there's a lot of subjectiveness in this business. You know, years ago when I first started, you know, you had a few thousands to play with. Now you only have a few tenths when you're polishing something. So a lot of that detail that we need to know is the utmost importance of information that we need.
So what is that information that you need? So I mean, I want people to watch this and go, I didn't know that. Now I know that and I can do better.
Well, with polishing, we always have to know what type of finish that they're looking for. Is there any areas that there's leeway? You know, does all the EDM have to be out? Does all the cutter marks have to be out? What's the part making? You know, does the print calls out for an A2? Do you really need an A2, or can you get away with a B finish, which is a paper finish? You know, all that stuff comes into account. Our parting line's finished. Is everything that's supposed to stay sharp, does it really need to stay sharp, or can there be a little break? Because if there is a break, the part won't scratch coming out.
So you're focusing on the areas that need to be focused on and the amount of time that you have to do the job.
Yes.
Instead of
And time is
working
money.
on,
And time
instead
is
of
money.
working on
Yes.
areas that shouldn't be working.
Yes, can we save the customer time and in essence save them money as well?
You know, Tony, going back to what you said, I don't know if people know that all these services are under one roof. You know, you got mold polishing, mold manifold cleaning, mold repair, laser engraving, laser welding, and plating. And then we're going to also have across the street electroless nickel is going to be opening up. So we're going to be offering all these services. I don't know if people, you know, just throw that out there, you know, for the customers that are seeing or potential people.
So it's not just nickel plating or chrome plating or polishing. It's having enough people. So today's industry, you can't have 2 polishers and a couple benches and call yourself a polishing shop. That's the way it used to be. Now we got 10 people here because why? They got 124 cavities. They got to be polished.
Now.
And, yeah, they got to be
Due
polished.
yesterday.
And there's times where the welding is not a mistake, but a part of the manufacturing process. So if there's 128 parts here and we're polishing them, in the meantime, Doug's welding. When we're done, before we're done, each cavity goes to Durochrome and they're chrome plated.
Yeah, or engraving.
Or engraving,
We do
exactly.
that all the time.
Exactly.
We have Kirby's polishing on a job. Jason's got it engraving. He's working with Kirby to swap parts back and forth, and then they go from engraving down to back to polishing to get deburred or whatnot, and then down to Durochrome to get plated.
There's
So-
been times where we're doing that as well too, where I have both lasers going, where I would be marking on the molding surface as well as the heel diameter also, or on the shaft, so we can accomplish.
Yeah, or engraving changes where we have a customer, you know, hey, I need this back today. Can you do it? Yeah, it comes in, it gets laser welded, it goes to Kirby, gets polished, comes back, gets re-engraved, and it's done. And it's within 3-4 hours sometimes. Obviously, it depends on the quantity and the size of the job and everything, but we do it.
Yeah, but being able
day in,
to
day
turn
out.
that work over
Yeah.
to a single source,
Right.
knowing
We had
that there's nothing really going to be standing still. As in all manufacturing, we know mold making this way and die making, but in all manufacturing, anytime you take a product and let it stand still,
You're losing
all
money.
you're doing is wasting time.
Yep.
Yep.
we had a
So how do you keep that ball moving and keep it going into separate hands doing different purposes, different functions? But it's all got to pass through those hands to get all of them done. I think that's a great benefit of Alliance.
And
It's
you
a
know,
great
the
benefit.
thing is, like with us, when he's laser engraving something and we're polishing it, we can't give it to him when it's done. So we have to bring it up to a 320, a 600, or whatever it is. He engraves it, and then we get it back and finish polishing it so that it's a clean, crisp surface.
And it's all without missing a beat too.
Yeah, you know, so laser engraving inherently creates a slight burr. So when you finish polishing it, you take the burr off, and it's nice and clean. If you don't have those services in-house, it's another trip somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
No,
we'd be wearing out trucks.
Right, you know.
We'd be wearing out trucks, spending more fuel than.
Yeah, and the key thing in this industry now is time. So we can polish it, laser engrave it, polish it, and chrome plate it. Guess what? It needs polishing after chrome.
Sure, you still got polish,
Yeah,
still got to
so-
give it a buff.
Yeah, everything's got to get polished after chrome. So it's just a matter of having it here and then having enough people. That's when I say, I got all these guys here. We have enough people, and we have good people that can do the work. For the first time ever, we have absolutely the best people to do the jobs. You know, we used to always have some young kids learning. Well, we have a few, but not really. Most of our guys are really craftsmen.
What's the most beneficial and important information for you to get to start a project?
Are all the heaters working? Are we getting the whole hot half, or are we getting just parts? Those are the two biggest things. Are they having any blockage on any of the cavities that are holding something back to where there's more pressure in the tool from one side to another? So those two are probably the biggest things that we need to know. And material wise, you might need to know if they're high temp plastic
Yeah,
or
what resin in the
resin,
system,
what kind of
sure.
resin's in the system. That dictates how long we have to leave it in the press or what temperature we can run the oven at to
Is
go over and get it
Is it
out.
beneficial to you guys? Because I know a lot of us, Mike, myself, if you're doing a flash repair on a job or something, it would be great, and it happens maybe 30 or 40% of the time to get a last shot. But how beneficial is that to you guys to have a last shot?
A last shot on cleaning is nice just to see if any of them are shorting to where there's carbon or something built up in there to turn around and figure out where you're at and which ones we have to watch out for. So that would be, it's hard to get a last shot from customers. It really is.
I think a last shot.
It is almost impossible to get a last shot.
It's so important though, you know, if you're
Yeah,
going
we
to
should have a
flash
second
repair,
last shot.
you'd love to have that in your hand. It's like a roadmap for you to find your way to where the flash actually is. You know, you wouldn't believe how hard it is to find flash when they just kind of don't specify the location. That's all. So.
Yeah, when the mold's broken, fix it.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of times there's something else going on in the tool that's causing a core to push over something. The flash is coming from one side, but it's because the damage is on
Because
the
the
other
other side,
And
yeah, that
you're
core
not
isn't
thinking
filling
about
all the
looking
way
at
or
the
something
plastic
like that.
parts. So unless you have all components,
So when you see the
can't
plastic
diagnose.
samples, you can actually measure and see core shift.
Mhm.
That's a critical mass.
In my experience with hot water systems, when we're rebuilding it, the biggest information that I think we need is you want us to replace everything. We try to save whatever we can. When we're rebuilding a hot water system, usually we try to save the heaters, and if there's a bad heater, we'll replace what's bad and leave the good ones. A lot of times, it's better to replace all of them.
It's like doing a tune-up on your car.
Right. You don't replace one spark plug, you gotta replace all of them. But some people, it's too expensive to replace all of them.
That gets down to a monetary decision and maybe a little philosophy on how you run your shop.
Right.
I agree. If I'm doing it, I want them replaced. I want to know I got all
Right.
in there. So we start the maintenance clock from zero to
Zero up.
again.
And it depends on how many shots you've already made on the tool.
Yeah.
If the tool's been running for a year and a half straight with no problems at all, and then all of a sudden there's a catastrophe,
Yeah, if we
is your
flooded one
life,
or something.
is your life of the tool
Yeah.
already starting to wear to where you know that if you fix that, a month and a half, 2 months later, you're doing it again, and you don't want to spend that time and money on it, so you turn around and replace everything. So again, conversation, you know, with what's going on with the tool.
So, Jesse, when it comes to Durochrome, how does Durochrome work with Alliance, and what does that relationship look like?
Well, Alliance is a vendor to me where when I get jobs in-house, sometimes a molder will come to me, 32 cores, we need a strip, repolish, chrome plate, and rebuff. So I'll go ahead and take care of that. I'll do the stripping, I'll go over to Alliance, I'll talk to Kirby, we'll go through the lineup, either, you know, re-diamond it, redraw it, whatever the customer wants, whatever specs, and then we'll go ahead and we'll reflash it. And in that same process, Kirby will occasionally be like, hey dude, we have like 5 cores that are dinged up that I don't think the customer knows about it. So, you know, I'll take pictures, talk to the customer, we'll get them over to Doug's side, and he'll weld them up. Then Kirby will go back, depending on the damage, he'll either blend the laser weld back to the molding surface, or we'll give it to Mike, and he'll grind you know, the OD or the shutoff, whatever damage, you know, is involved. And then we'll flash chrome plate it. You know, we'll do their coatings they desire. I got several different coatings in chrome that we offer, from thin dense chrome to just regular flash. And then you know, we're going to be offering nickel here within, you know, probably a month and a half from now. So we'll have a bunch of coatings there we can offer. But yeah, so I have a really strong relationship with Alliance. We bring a lot to the table to, you know, when one of us goes and sells to a customer, you know, polishing, coatings, we got a lot to offer as far as, you know, that unique, you know, as far as communicating with one another. You know, Doug could come and check out a job as we're plating and be like, yeah, this is good. No, you guys got to do a little better, and we can correct it right there and spend, instead of you know, spending 8 hours on a job and then giving it to him and be like, oh no, it's not what I was looking for. So we can, I think the communication is we bring a lot of good communication to the table when, you know, you got customers coming in.
Well, I think there's probably going to be some people watching this that know all of us, and they're saying, well, I've never been sure. Are you the same company, or are you different companies? Or who's responsible for what? And really what we do is we've all got our own customers, and we've all got customers that like us for whatever reason. We deal with them good, we manage their projects, and whether it's just dealing with a welding job, or me dealing with a plating job, or Kirby dealing with a welding or a plating job, it's all in, you know, Kirby's going to communicate with his customers better than I'm going to communicate with his customers. So we all work together, it's all done under the same roof. Yes, we do have to transfer stuff from department to department, so it goes outside or walks next door. But yeah, so we all work together, we're in the same building, but we are separate companies, but we are partners. And just as a vendor earlier, I would say partner.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah, the name Alliance wasn't an accident. I really believe, even with our customers, I really believe building relationships. You know, we have customers we've had for 40 years, same people. I know their parts, then we could sit down at a table and talk about a particular part that we did 20 years ago. They'll say, John, this is exactly like the part you did 20 years ago. And I remember. So it's the same relationship, we're all the same team. Everybody says that, but we try to do that. And that's why we have all the different services there.
Not only do we have the services, but we also have laser welding and laser engraving machine sales. Doug, why would we do that?
So we get that question a lot. You know, why do you guys sell machines? And it's primarily when John and I started in laser welding and laser engraving, we saw that it was kind of it was a very new technology in the U.S. at the time. So it was, we had somebody at that time asked us if we wanted to sell machines for them, knowing that we knew the industry, right? So we started working with them, and we just saw it as a fit in the sense that if somebody's spending enough money annually on welding or engraving for that matter, or needs to have a machine to get stuff done right away, they're gonna buy a machine, whether we want them to or not. So if they can buy it from us, that somebody that they've been working with for a while, and get the professionalism that comes with it, and the help, and you know, the knowledge and training that we offer with it. So you know that you're gonna have, you know, if we've been welding on your parts for 5 years, and now you say, well, I'm spending, you know, $100,000 in welding, I probably should buy a machine. You know, there's different, obviously, ROIs on that, and is it $100,000 that you're spending, you're gonna have to hire a guy, maybe it's not enough work, you know, you can use it just to bail yourself out of problems, but you're not gonna be able to do all your own work. So our goal is to kind of capture both markets, right? Knowing that people are going to upgrade equipment and grow their businesses at the same time and limit their outside spend.
As far as going to, if you're selling to somebody who has been utilizing us as a vendor providing either laser engraving or laser welding, if they're going to buy equipment from us, it's the same equipment that their jobs have been ran on for those amount of years. So they're getting that same consistent finish or that same consistent product afterwards. And on top of that, they also get training from us. We go as far as pick up the phone, ask a question about things. So we're very hands-on with all that stuff too. Like we value them as a customer when they're giving us work. The way that I would view it at that point is they just gave us a lump sum of work at that point too, and I would like to help them out as well and keep those relationships because I'd like to potentially utilize some help from them later on in the future if I have questions from them, you know? Because the thing that I found out within this industry is there is a lot of communication, and I'm still relatively green within it all, but I have not had a single question that I have been unable to have an answer from anybody sitting at this table right now. If I got a question on a picture on something, or what are you going to be doing as far as the polishing process, when do you want me to start engraving it, like, I get very in-depth, very quick answers.
He had the one this morning. He gave me a cord to weld. Well, they welded a little cavity ID. So we polished it, it was welded, we blended the weld, we polished it, gave it back to him. He came to me 10 minutes later, it's like, where was the weld? Like, he hands it to me and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know. I can't find it.
So yeah,
Sorry about that.
No, that's what I had that.
So Jay, what are the questions that you hear the most from people that are whether they send you an engraving job or they call in with a question?
Big ones are like how deep you can
Well,
go.
the number one question is how soon can I have it?
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Or how busy. But they'll ask about character height, they'll ask about depth. Going back to the communication, which has been the theme for today, as far as sometimes they'll want a character that's 30,000 tall, but they'll want to go like 15, 20,000 steep, or they'll want a very intricate, detailed logo that they want going very deep that isn't very large. So then all this stuff like that, plastic would be getting caught up in the mold. So I'll have to talk to them on the phone, like, is this really what you're looking for? Can we either scale this up or can we shrink or shorten the depth on it? Those are big questions that I get.
And you can adjust the type of finish.
Type of finish as well too. We have anything from like a textured finish, kind of like to mimic an EDM. We can do smooth, kind of like glass-like, just a standard sort of engraving texture as well too. So there's a whole.
Yeah, we go back and forth on some jobs where there's, well, we're just gonna engrave it fast and cheap, and then we're gonna have stone and diamond, the letter. It's like, well, you might want to spend the extra $10 per piece on the engraving because it's gonna save you $30 in the polish, which is counterproductive for us, but we have to do our job in educating the customers. Sure. Because they might not know, laser engraving in general has always been, you're gonna get that EDM finish that we all see, right? But we can dial it in where we can get a smooth enough finish to where the polisher should go in there with diamond and shine.
We can even get a
It
smooth
will
enough,
take substantially long.
so we can even get a smooth enough finish. It points to if the customer's going to spend the money on it, they wouldn't even have to polish it at the end also. And I know like, we've done work for you guys as well where we've done engraving on the heel diameter, like part marking before you guys bought laser from us.
Right.
And we would also be doing the molding as well too. So there's just two different textures on the same part that we're getting from, in certain cases, the same laser.
Do you guys, or can any of you think of a job that came in where it was all hands on deck, every department was touched?
Well, the one that I just mentioned was one, the one with the engraving that was damaged.
All the way across the board.
Yeah, with the exception of plating.
Yeah.
I mean, off the top of the head, we had one, this was several years ago, but we had I think it was a 64 cavity rotating tool where we had to strip the chrome, weld all the threads. Our customer had to send it to their thread grinder. They reground all the threads. We polished them. I believe we engraved a cavity ID number and then replated them. And when you were done, you couldn't tell that anything ever happened to them. And it was a complete change of the thread design. Which, I don't know, 64 rotating cores that are 10, 12 inches long, 1.25 inches in diameter. What are you talking, $100,000? We probably did the whole thing for 30.
Sure. Yeah.
No, I
It's
don't
an
know.
expensive course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gear hobbed and water in the back and threads. So. Recently, I don't know that anything rings.
Seems like every week there's a all
there's
hands on
always
deck
something.
something.
You know, whether it hits all departments or not. I mean, we have a project in house now that was Friday. Hey, can you come look at this? We got 100 plus cavities that were all machined on the wrong. The taper is right, but the diameter on the print was wrong, and they need to be back in production sampling the tool by the end of the week. It's probably 70 hours of welding, and they want it back by Tuesday, Wednesday, so they can, and they're machining them at the same time we're welding them, so they can be assembling the mold and putting it back in the press to sample. And we'll be done with the job probably by the end of the day tomorrow. It was Friday night, Sunday. Some people would rather work Sunday than Saturdays. And then all day today and all day tomorrow for 3 or 4 welders. Who else? I mean, I don't know anybody else that's going to be able to juggle enough work to say, these 4 guys are going to work on this job for the next 3 days. That's it.
Yeah.
And get it done.
You know, it's, as a customer, that's fantastic. Do you know what our customer says when that happens? They can't believe it can be done. That's how good it is. They can't believe that work can get done. Being here in this area, being in Chicago with you here, that's a tremendous asset. Because I agree with you, I don't know anywhere else you're gonna go to get that done and get the response time and rely that it's gonna be done to the proper way. So that's a tremendous asset for our company, I can tell you that much for sure. Our customers, we've done it. We've done those jobs with you. Our customers, how did you do this? You've done the impossible.
Everything
It's a
else
great thing to
here,
do, the impossible.
everything else here, we learn from somebody else. Chrome plating, we learn from somebody else.
Sure.
Polishing, we learn from somebody else. But laser welding, we developed that ourselves. There's nobody here that showed us how to do it.
Right.
The things we do, nobody can do. The things that we learn to do, we didn't think was possible.
Yeah,
And Doug being a tool maker made that happen. If he wasn't a tool maker and he was just a welder, it wouldn't have been as good.
Oh, here's
And
a,
then the processes that Jesse and I have developed,
Yep.
that we've all developed over the years of welding, prep welding
Yep,
things
I was
before,
just going to that,
before
yeah.
doing a chrome buildup. And then that was an option on this current job, was possibly chroming them. But there would have been a lot of masking, there would have been prep welding. So it was like, does it really make sense to do 2 processes plus all that masking and cleaning when we can be welding them and you guys can be machining them when we're finished with the weld and just keep the process running? And machining versus grinding, because if it was chrome plated, you'd have to grind it. So, but yeah, we've come up on a lot of different things, whether it's stripper rings or cores and
ID, OD,
rotating
anything,
cores.
anything that's basically what we're doing is we're laser welding a leading edge, and we're preventing the chrome buildup. It's either on like an ID shutoff or an angled shutoff on a core. So we're preventing the chrome from chipping. So Doug would laser weld it in, and there's a special way to do it, and that's a secret. And then we'll go ahead and chrome it. If it's not done properly, there's going to be a line in between both different materials. So it's been a big repair out there in the industry where we combine those 2 services, and we
The weld in that instance plays 2 roles. One, it's preventing the chrome from chipping, and 2, you ding that corner. If it's chrome, it's chipped off. You got to strip it and redo it. Now it's weld. You can go back and weld
Yep.
it.
and
you
who
can
else
use
is
it.
gonna know that but a tool maker?
Right.
Who else is gonna develop that but a tool maker?
Good.
Yep, and I do know how it's done, so it's not that big a secret. But it's the truth. It's a tool maker that's gonna dream that up and say, here's why we're doing it, here's how we're gonna do it, and get it done. What an asset.
All right, so before we wrap up, I don't know if any of you guys have a quick tip or anything for people watching, or anything along those lines.
My simple quick tip of the day would be, if you're taking something to the welder that's not, if it's not physical damage that the welder can see, if you need to build up a shutoff surface, tell them the way we work and what we would like for people to tell us is how much weld do you need finished. I don't want to, if you tell me you need 30 thousandths of weld, but you only need to finish at 10, you're wasting a whole bunch of everybody's time and money. Tell me that you need 10,000, we'll make sure you got 12 or 13.
Uniformly.
Yeah.
Uniform. So it's not like the old days where you had to do that because you were going to dip. Now you're going to get it, you know.
My tip is receiving parts in, if they could be as clean as possible. Sometimes we'll get brand new cores. There's a lot of heat treat scale, and that could be cleaned up right after heat treat. The same heat treater can sandblast that right there at the moment, and then that core can go get machined and ground and all that. And by the time it hits me, I can clean it. So if parts could come really nice and clean, that'd be
I
great.
think that kind of plays across the board here is the less oil, the less EDM oil that's in the water lines, the cleaner the part comes to us, the better, the easier the job, the cheaper, the less expensive it's going to be for you, the less chance of our guys slipping and dropping it or cutting themselves, sharp corners. We deal with sharp corners all the time because parts aren't finished. You run a cutter into something, the chamfers haven't been cut on a part yet or whatever, and the guys, knock on wood, we haven't had any issues, but you pick something up out of a cardboard box and there's sharp corners all over it or burrs sticking out of it, and it does complicate things a little bit.
Communication in any sort of formal way, pictures, emails, phone calls, marked up parts, piece
Last
parts, shots, any of that stuff's always a helper, you know what I mean? And the more we could gather on the front, the better we could get you exactly what you're looking for.
Contact information on that same aspect. Who do we contact back by you or a customer who actually knows the tool and can answer questions?
Yeah, is there
instead of running through 4 or 5 different people to turn around and get that answer? It saves a lot of time, saves a lot of effort, gets your tool back quicker.
A direct line or a cell
Yep.
phone maybe even for the tool maker himself. He's
Himself,
the last
exactly.
guy that laid
Or
on
the
his
process
project.
tech, in my case, the process tech.
Who's gonna give
that
you
would
the
actually
answer?
knew the tool,
Yeah,
right?
Not a return phone call. Who's going to give you the answer?
Yeah, we
Right.
have several customers that give us their mold makers' phone numbers. If you have any questions on what you're welding or how much weld, or if you see something that wasn't marked, call this guy. Call him on his cell phone and it's not an issue.
I think mine would be, everything you need done should be either emailed or paper trail. With today's technology, it clears everything up when we call somebody and say, you want to replace all the heaters? Or you don't want to replace all the heaters? Well, just replace what you need. Please email me saying that. The same thing, we're going to replace all the heaters because we're told we agreed to it, email back. So again, I think
An answer, yeah.
communication, today we have the ability to text each other on phones. Communications, that's the most important thing.
And we have the same issue from our side to our customer. Everybody's lazy. So getting that email, John, good luck. We'll try to do it for you.
Yeah.
But we do the same thing with our customers, same way. But we've also learned that we can respond it back. Giving him his own answer back that he gave us. You requested us to do this work, do this work, do this, ignore that. So that he's got the paper trail that he didn't even type it out. We did it for him, but it really does formalize things. Because a week from today, in the heat of the fires that we're all in, how quickly we can forget a detail. I told you to do that, didn't I? Yeah. Oops.
You're asking me to tell me.
It happens. I also would say, once again, as a customer, don't be afraid to ask. We all know we're the expert, but you're the experts too. We're gonna come in, we are gonna tell you, I need this buildup, I need this. Did I know that you can actually uniform a 15 thousandths weld across that surface? No, I want to put 25 on there so I can kiss 10 off. Oh, you can do 15? I asked that question because it does save time and effort for everybody to get the job done quicker and better. Assuming what it was last year, in today's world, I mean, things just are changing so quick.
And
So
assuming
much
that,
better.
that laser welding is gonna take too long, because the technology's come a long ways where we can do a lot of things faster than we used to.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that knowledge, once again, it's educational for us, the customer, but it also saves time and money for everybody. Don't be afraid to ask, don't be afraid to open those ears and listen. Get it out there. Here's my end goal. Here's my end goal, Doug. What do I need to do? Get the response back. Say, no, we're not welding it up. That all we're gonna do is this and it'll work. Bingo, very good.
So on behalf of the entire Alliance Specialties and Laser Sales family and team, I want to thank Jesse, our partner next door, and Chuck from Janler for being here and just sharing some of our knowledge, some of our expertise with you. I hope it was useful. I hope you got something out of it. And we look forward to working with you in the future and making a difference in all your projects. Thank you for watching and have a great day.